Hello, everybody. I want to offer some thoughts about the practice of penance throughout the year, but also the practice of penance during Lent and some frequently asked questions. The practice of penance is part of our faith and Christian life. When we do penance, we imitate Jesus, who himself recommended it to his followers as necessary and gave them the example of his own prayer and fasting. Church canon law considers every Friday of the whole year and the season of Lent as penitential time. So it's good to recall that we're actually encouraged to do penance every Friday, even outside of the season of Lent, in view of the Lord's sacrificial death for us on Good Friday. The law of fasting is to be observed on Ash Wednesday and on Good Friday. The law of abstinence from meat is to be observed on Ash Wednesday, on all the Fridays of Lent, and on Good Friday. Abstinence from meat or another food or some other penance is to be observed on all Fridays of the whole year, unless the day is a solemnity. So I want to encourage you to consider that outside of Lent. Remember that on Fridays we observe some form of penance, and you're encouraged to do that throughout your Catholic living. It's recommended that the Good Friday fast and abstinence be kept until the Easter Vigil Mass. This also is something that sometimes creates a bit of surprise. We're not always aware of that we're really encouraged in that immediate preparation of Holy Week leading to Easter to engage in a fast starting Good Friday with fasting and abstinence from meat that would continue until the first Mass of Easter, which is the Easter Vigil Mass. I would encourage you to take that practice up. The question of who must fast. All Catholics who are between the ages of 18 and 59 years old. The obligation ceases when one begins his or her 60th year. And though the obligation might cease, obviously you're still encouraged to participate in that practice. Some ask, who must abstain? Well, all Catholics who are 14 years of age and older must participate in that penitential practice of abstaining from meat. Again, even if you're outside of the age range, you're encouraged to participate all the same. What does fasting mean? The observance of fasting means that those obliged may take only one full meal on the day of the fast. 2 lighter meals, not equal to another full meal, are permitted if necessary to maintain strength according to one's needs. Eating solid foods between meals is not permitted on fast days. What does abstinence mean? Voluntary abstinence refers to refraining from lawful pleasures in a spirit of penance. During Lent, the law of abstinence forbids the eating of meat on a day of abstinence. When do we fast? On Ash Wednesday and on Good Friday, continuing until the Easter Vigil Mass. When do we abstain from meat? On Ash Wednesday, on all Fridays of Lent, and on Good Friday, continuing again until the Easter Vigil Mass. Some ask, can anyone be dispensed or excused from fast and or abstinence practices? Individuals with a just cause may be dispensed by the pastor if it would injure one's health or deprive an individual of the necessary strength for daily work. Those who are ill or who have a similar serious reason are excused from the observance of fast and abstinence by the nature of the illness. Catholics are reminded that they should not lightly excuse themselves from this obligation. If there is a legitimate and compelling reason for a dispensation, the person should compensate with prayer and or other voluntary penance. And certainly, if there is some cause to be dispensed, you need to speak to your pastor. As regards minors who are not technically bound by the laws of fast and abstinence, they are still encouraged to practice the same penitential practices where possible, and pastor and parents should see that they are formed in a true sense of penance. Failure to observe a required fast and or abstinence is something that should be confessed, and that assumes that the failure to do so was intentional. We're not talking about accidents where someone accidentally forgets that it's a day of fast or abstinence. We're talking about choosing to observe something contrary to the call to penance. That really should be something that's brought to the confessional. We begin this holy season of Lent in a call to live more deeply with the Lord. These practices, whether they're the practices we do all together as a church, like prayer and fasting and almsgiving, or the abstaining from meat and the fasting from food, all of these things together, along with our personal prayer practices and our personal mortifications, these are meant to draw us to deeper life with the Lord and to be renewed in the gospel spirit, to be renewed that we might live more fully our call as disciples, as his witnesses in this world. God bless you in this holy season which we have now begun.